TLC tribe. It's Veronica Jones here at the Life Coaching Co. And today I've got a real treat for you. You're going to meet the wonderful Natalie, who's a powerhouse consultant. She's in the banking sector and based in Melbourne. And she came to me when she faced a career crossroads. And she's going to very kindly donate her time today for us to have a little sneak peek where she's going to spill the beans on her transformative journey and give you a real glimpse into what her coaching experience was like with yours truly. So get ready to be inspired. It's going to be a great one, and I'm sure one you don't want to miss. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Natalie. Natalie, how are you?
Hello, Veronica. I'm very well, thank you.
That's good. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Oh, thanks. So, Natalie, as I usually kick off these interviews, perhaps you can start by maybe just telling us a little bit about how you found yourself getting into this journey of coaching and what motivated you to seek out a coach.
Yeah, sure. So first, I'm going to start explaining or giving a bit of context about my background for the audience. So I'm originally from Colombia, and I migrated to Australia in 2015 to study a Master of Marketing. So initially I was going to stay here just for 2 years, but then I ended up falling in love with Melbourne, as many do, and decided to stay here permanently. Back home, I work mainly in the fintech industry for more than 5 years. And when I was here in Melbourne after finishing my studies, I worked for some really small companies, software companies. And then I moved into the banking sector, which is where I'm working now. And then in the current role that I have, ever since I started, I start feeling a little bit of lack of motivation. I wasn't really inspired by the role, and I felt that I lacked connectivity with what I was doing. I thought it was normal, part of the change in roles, something different. But then I fall pregnant. I came back from maternity leave to still work in the same role. And then that was when I really felt it. Like the same feelings that I had before were even stronger now. And I felt that I had a really low confidence, low self-esteem. I was doubting a lot about myself, about my capabilities. I even thought that I wasn't providing any value, that I was not worthy of having the role I had. I was feeling stuck pretty much. And I tried to work by myself for some months without any luck. So that's when I thought, no, I need to look for help. And I'm so grateful that I found you, Veronica, because that was my lifesaver.
Oh, well, it was my pleasure. And I'm so glad you did find me. On that note, you mentioned, obviously you're originally from Colombia and your native language is Spanish, and yet you chose me as an English speaking coach, which obviously I'm thrilled you did. So I wondered, what it was like from your perspective where you thought, you know what, I'll get an English speaking coach.
Yes, so the main thing was I was looking for help in my professional life, right? Which is in English in Australia. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that is one thing. I need to find somebody who is an English speaker and can provide me actually an objective view into what I'm facing now. Mm-hmm. So that was the main reason I wanted to find somebody who was an English speaking coach. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. And I commend you on that stretch that you took to actually reach out and find an English speaking coach, because that would have had, they might have been having some doubts and hesitations with that in itself. Yet you did it, which was awesome. And I wondered, from my curiosity, did you find that the language difference, did that impact the coaching experience at all?
Well, it did impact it, but in a really positive way, I have to say, which was amazing. Initially, when I started all this process, I had a lot of doubts in my communication skills as well in English, because as a migrant, and I believe many of the migrants in Australia that come from a different language background may probably identify with myself, and you always feel that you are let's say, behind or in a bit of disadvantage when it comes to professional settings, because it is not, of course, your mother tongue, right? And if you learn English later in life, it is even harder. But just doing the coaching in English with you actually made me realize that I was capable of actually doing it. And I actually set my goal initially, without telling you, that now it is a surprise, that if I was able to find this journey beneficial and get what I wanted out of it, even being in English, it will be a huge win. And I did. And I'm so grateful for that as well.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, once again, congratulations for taking the stretch and taking on the challenge. You know, I'm thrilled to bits. Now, when you actually started coaching with me, I mean, and you've mentioned this now, just some of the challenges you were facing, sort of the feelings of lack of motivation, not feeling worthy in the role, those sorts of things that were coming up for you. What do you think the main challenges were that you were really struggling with at that point in time? Like, can you paint a picture maybe of what things look like for you then?
Well, everything looked kind of negative to me. Like my view of life at that moment, because of the way I was feeling, was really dark, let's say. So everything that was happening to me, I started thinking, like, even though it was something positive, probably it wasn't as positive as it should be, right? So that actually started impacting my personal life as well. So the main that was some of my challenges, and something that I decided to work on a lot, with your help, of course, was to tap into my confidence and to tap into my intuition to actually boost that confidence, right? One of the things that we worked through a lot and we focused a lot was to identify why I may not feel, why I felt that way. And it was a lot of work that I had to do in self-discovering myself. And actually, one of the things that we realized that was probably influencing my low in confidence was that I wasn't making decisions. That was an example, right? So I needed to start looking in more decisions in my professional life. Doing that, I was like, okay, we need to work on this. And some of the techniques that you taught me help really help a lot on boosting my confidence. One of them was to first set an intention every day. And within those intentions, always it was in my mind how I was gonna lock in more decisions during the day, right? And then visualizing myself how I was gonna feel after making that decision. And finally, after I have made my decisions during the day, in the morning, practice for success, just to journal in those decisions, just to prove to myself that I was capable of doing that. So I started small, and then I went bigger and bigger and bigger, and that just helped immensely.
That's incredible. I love it. So, I mean, obviously I know I witnessed this, but that embracing it of, okay, this is how I'm going to shift my mindset today with this intention, you know what? And then I'm actually going to follow up with the visualization so I can feel myself experiencing that. And then I'll journal on it. So I've actually got the follow-up then that creates that loop back in the mindset. Brilliant. And I'm so glad that you found that so beneficial. The thing is, too, any kind of career challenge or change or transition can be really daunting, and supporting our mindset in that piece really is like the key piece of the puzzle. And I wondered if you can maybe reflect back to one of the challenges you felt were really kind of playing out for you on a day-to-day basis in the workplace. Maybe it was communication, maybe it was getting things done, I don't know, any of those like that. And perhaps a strategy that you learned through coaching to help actually conquer some of those situations you were facing in the workplace.
One of those things were focus. I was having a really hard time focusing on the things that I needed to focus on, because I had, these thoughts in my mind, these gremlins that we also learn about all the time there, just not letting me focus the way I should focus, right? So learning the technique about the one task wonder, and just focusing on one task at a time when I was like doing something actually really helped for me to focus. And another interesting strategy that I use constantly probably is before every, let's say, task or important meeting that I needed to be really focused on, to do the box breathing exercise.
Ah, great.
Yes. So yeah, that was a game changer.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, breathing is such an important part too of obviously every day. I mean, it's helping us survive. And I think for a lot of us, particularly when we're tensed up at work or tensed up in situations, we forget how shallow our breathing can be. And that box breathing of open up your diaphragm really is just that central nervous system reset. And wonderful to hear you were able to put that in play then to actually hone your focus at work. So that's fantastic. And I also wondered too, because obviously communication and influence is such an important part of elevating ourselves in the workplace and our skills and how we're contributing and so on. So I wondered maybe if you could share some insights on how coaching helped you enhance your abilities in that area and maybe improve your communication in that professional setting.
Yeah, sure. So there was this technique that you taught me as well, that is called the human needs framework.
Oh, yeah.
And just to learn how to use it and how to identify the most relevant human needs of every person I interact with at work really helped just to create that connection, and even in some instances more than a connection, right? Just to build that a strong relationship, just to achieve what I need to achieve, pretty much. So just learning that, being able to identify those human needs and communicate in a way that the person is gonna feel connected to what I'm trying to say, really generate a change of perspective for me. And I also saw the change in the interactions I had at work.
That's interesting. And congratulations to you again for embracing all this stuff. I mean, you were just like a sponge, just learning all this information and putting all this implementation into place. It was awesome. And the other thing I wondered about too is, because in coaching, as you mentioned it too, we get to know what our gremlins are, those self-limiting beliefs are holding us back, but we also get to identify our strengths as well. So what strengths did you discover in coaching, and how did you leverage those to achieve your professional goals?
I think that one of the main ones was discipline. So I always thought that I was a disciplined person, but actually during this process, I actually proved to myself that I am. Because through coaching, like, of course, I get all your help, all these like great exercises, practices that you are able to do to help boost your confidence and to improve your mindset as well. But at the end, if you don't act on it and you don't practice it, there are nothing, right? Because you can tell me everything, but if I don't do anything to actually put it in practice in my life, I'm not going to see the results that I want to see. So that was the main strength that I actually discovered throughout this session, and it was throughout the program, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, and I noticed that too. You became very disciplined and you were committing and you were obviously trying out these techniques and so on, and then repeating them and building your confidence in them and getting that mastery. So, good on you for taking it all on board and actually taking action, just as you said. That's absolutely the way to kind of intrinsically make it our own, change our thoughts and then create the actions from that. The other thing I was curious about too was goal setting, because you and I got together and we created a goal for you. And that was co-created with what you wanted at the time. And I wondered if you could share maybe some insight into the goals you set, or what, at least one of them you set, and how achieving them has influenced your life.
Yeah. Well, we created this wonderful goal, and I will say one of the part of that goal, it has different parts, right? is to find inner inner peace. And it's something that I'm still working on, and of course that is no magic, and it is not going to happen from overnight. But I have seen a lot of improvement on that, and it is just working through every day, being so conscious of what I'm doing and just putting in practice, as I mentioned before, all the tools that you taught me. I think finding inner peace is something that I discovered actually halfway of our program, where I didn't know that was what I really needed, because I needed to feel calm inside me, to be able to think clearly and to see things differently. And when I have that inner peace, I'm able to do that, exactly that. So everything looks clear. I can see opportunities, and I'm so glad that I am achieving that goal, I can say.
Yeah, definitely. And many people often wonder about that emotional aspect to changing to coaching. And the thing is, when we start coaching, because we start to think and then we feel differently, we have these emotions that go with it. Emotions, energy in motion. And I remember that halfway point in the program where you came to me and you're like, ooh, there's this epiphany in terms of you finding this inner peace and being in flow with life. And there was this transformation happening, and you were like at ease, felt this resistance was just melting away from you. So I wondered, from your perspective, if you think about that breakthrough that you experienced during our coaching, what has it meant for you now moving forward?
Well, it actually changed. I will say I could change I know this is gonna sound a little bit strong, but kind of it changed my life into, like, it was before that breakthrough and after, because I always thought that what I needed to work on was on the situations that were presented in my life, right? But actually discovering that, and that I needed to work in my inner self, made me realize that regardless of the situation that you are living, if your mindset is well, if you are in peace within yourself, you are gonna be able to see things differently. So even when we unfortunately have negative situations happening in our life, even in those situations, you can see things differently if your mindset is different as well. And so that's why I believe it has changed. Like, it has changed me since that moment, actually.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible to hear. And if you think about that now, then how that's playing out for the rest of your life, there's been this transformation, this change, like, I am different now. What ways would you say that coaching has empowered you then to overcome obstacles, embrace new opportunities, generally speaking?
I think coaching has provided me with the foundations I need to work on my mindset, pretty much. Because, of course, 8 sessions that I had with you, actually 9 sessions that I had with you were wonderful, but that is just the start. And I love this that I'm about to say, that you used to tell me, sorry, all the time. And it's like, the mindset is like your body. Like, let's make that comparison. Like, if you want to have a wonderful body, like, you probably hire a physical trainer and you go to the gym every day and you work like on your body and you have a beautiful body, and that's amazing. Well, the same happens with your mind, right? With your mindset. Like, I got to partner with you, work with you on that practices, exercises. I'm working on that. But if I stop doing it at any time from now on, like, probably I'm gonna go back to the point that I started when I decided to engage with you, right? So it is just that, like, coaching has empowered me with the tools that I need as foundation to keep that transformation journey. pretty much. And keep
That's
working.
incredible. That's so incredible. And it's so true. So a coach is like the personal trainer for your mind, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
And we just keep stretching those muscles of our mind, and we build them, and we just keep that mindset in a really good place. And it's something that with daily focus like that, supporting our mindset, just as we support ourselves with the food we put in our body, the exercise we undertake, that's how we're getting ourselves to be a peak performer in all aspects of our lives. Definitely. And coaching often has this flow-on effect that I've noticed when I've been working with my clients into other areas of our lives, like our relationships, you know, with our close partner and our kids and what have you. And I wondered if you noticed any flow-on effects that were impacting your relationship in a good way.
Yes, of course. I did notice some changes in my relationship, especially because, as I mentioned, like I recently had a daughter. And when a new person comes into your family, there are a lot of challenges that you experience during your marriage, right? So the things that I learned through coaching actually helped me to overcome some situations at home. Sometimes when probably, I don't know, there are some arguments because things that happen because a baby, of course, brings a lot of work and a lot of pressure and a lot of things that you need to think about and do. And, you know, it is a change in life, of course. It is something that you are learning every single day as well. So actually, it was really good to have the coaching with you initially for professional purposes, but as well, I could transfer some of that knowledge that I acquire for my professional life into my personal life. And it also really worked.
Yeah, sensational. And if you look back now on this coaching experience, how do you feel now versus when you started coaching?
Well, main thing, I don't feel stuck anymore.
Yes.
As I was feeling in the beginning. My confidence has improved. And I feel more open to any opportunities that life will bring. I feel that my view to life has changed to be more open. Like my mind is more open now, my heart is more open now, just to actually receive what life has to offer me and just make the most of that.
And that as your thoughts have changed now and you've opened yourself up to opportunities, for the audience at home, in case you're wondering, well, what's happened with her career? She's got an exciting opportunity on the table now, bubbling away in the background. So, you know, we're going to stay tuned to see how that pans out, but it's looking very promising now to get her dream role that she was after. So let's all put the good vibes out for her.
Thank you.
And I'll give you an update on the socials on that one and how she goes. Also, Natalie, I wondered, you know, you've marked such key kind of milestones for us in this interview today with like the struggles you had, and then obviously like transformation you experienced, and then how that's impacted the rest of your life. If you think back now on this journey and who you've become during this process of coaching, what do you like best about who you've become?
I think that I am, what I probably just said, more open to life, more willing to accept everything that comes my way, because I know that I'm capable to face any situations that come my way.
Yes, you are capable.
Yes.
You got it. Now, if someone was thinking about considering coaching themselves, what advice do you think you would give them? And perhaps even what they could look for if they're looking to partner with a coach?
Yes, well, first thing I will say is initially it may look at it as if it is expensive investment, but it is not expensive at all once you see the results that you can get from it. My advice will be to book a session, actually a breakthrough session, which was amazing. That was what I did, because of course you have so many people out there offering their services. So just try And well, of course, I would recommend Veronica 100%. When I had that breakthrough session, I was looking for somebody who actually listened to what I needed to say, that actually gave me some insights into how I could work towards my challenges. And during that call, that initial call, I found that from you. So what I would recommend people is just make the most of that opportunity. Like, it is free. Like, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay anything. So it is nothing to lose there. And also to be very mindful that the results that you can get from coaching depends on how much effort you would like to put in. So it is not just magic and, okay, yes, she's going to tell me everything that I need to know and poof, everything works. No, it is a lot of work that you have to do yourself in order to achieve what you want to achieve. So just be mindful of that.
Yes, definitely. And the action steps and so on that we work on in coaching, a lot of people wonder, well, how do they kind of get formulated? And they get co-created, don't they, based on the sessions we have. So it feels like it's achievable, and you can do it in your time frames. You're a working mom, yet the steps we created were all things you were able to do. And of course, some of them have stretch in it, as in have challenge in it, because you want to be challenged so you can grow. But nevertheless, they're all doable in the timeframes we've got. So it's all absolutely not just possible, but probable. You will get results. You just got to put in the effort, like you said.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Well, here's the thing. If you're home now, having listened to this wonderful Q&A with the fabulous Natalie, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I'd like to get some clarity and some certainty and, more confidence on my path to success, whether that's in your career or your business or your life, generally speaking, then I do encourage you to go to our website, which is thelifecoachingco.com.au, and you can apply to have a complimentary breakthrough session there, just as Natalie mentioned. And of course, you can always check us out on Facebook too. So we're on Facebook, we're facebook.com/thelifecoachingco, or you can check us out on Instagram as well. It's simply at The Life Coaching Co. So thank you so much to everyone who's joined us, and thank you, Natalie. It's been a joy to have you, and I can't wait to hear what happens next with this exciting opportunity. So please keep me in the loop.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Yes, I will, for sure.
Fabulous. All right. Well, on that note, remember, master your mindset, secure your success.
Yes, thank you.